My favorite way to cook pork shoulder is to make Mexican pulled pork. I make a flavorful dry rub, sear the pork to intensify the flavor, then pressure cook it for a tender and delicious result. I'm going to show you one ingredient to remove from the dry rub to prevent burning and how to get the most flavor out of the spices. Let's fix it. Start off with 4 pounds of boneless pork shoulder. I'm cutting it into quarters so it will fit in the pressure cooker, and also increasing the surface area for our dry rub and sear. This pork is beautifully marbled. The pressure cooker will render most of this fat, which will lead to a greasy result. But don't worry, I have a special technique to get the fat out. Here are the dry rub spices. Can you tell which one I removed? Removing the brown sugar is going to prevent burning during the searing portion of the cook. We'll add the brown sugar later when we get to the pressure cook. Brown sugar is usually the hardest ingredient to mix into a dry rub because of the lumps. So removing that brown sugar makes mixing the dry rub super easy. We generously coat the pork with the dry rub, and we're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes to make sure it sticks. Onto the Instant Pot, we have it on high heat saute. We use avocado oil because it holds up well to high heat. After a couple minutes of sauteing, you can see the oil is starting to change color. That's from the spices blooming. More on that later. I'm testing the pork to see if it's ready to turn over yet. It's still stuck to the pan, so that tells me it's not ready. We'll just give it another minute. That is a beautiful sear. It's only possible by excluding the brown sugar from the dry rub. That's looking really good. We'll go ahead and pull it from the Instant Pot and get ready to sear the other two. Now that the searing is done, I'm going to show you another trick to amplify the flavor. There's a lot of spice left over after applying the dry rub. We could just dump it in with the meat and pressure cook it, but we're not going to do that. We're going to bloom it first. I'm going to add some more avocado oil. And in go the extra spices. The flavor oils are fat-soluble, so to get maximum flavor, we can bloom the spices in oil. This releases all the flavors, and we will really elevate the flavor of the pork. That's looking really good, so in goes the pork. We're getting ready for the pressure cook. We also have a few other ingredients to add. The acidity of the Coca-Cola helps tenderize the pork, and the caramel flavor complements the cinnamon and the clove flavors in the dry rub very nicely. Time for the smoky illusion. You remember the brown sugar? In you go. We'll do a high pressure cook for an hour and 20 minutes with the keep warm feature turned on. After the timer beeps, we're going to let it sit for another 20 minutes to finish the cook. Time to release the pressure. I like to use a paper towel to catch all the mess instead of decorating the ceiling. All right, let's see what we have. Ah, beautiful. That's exactly what we want. This pork is super tender and will fall apart very easily. Make sure you get a solid yet gentle grip so it doesn't fall apart too much. Now that the pork is removed, it's time to deal with the liquid. After resting on the counter for a few minutes, you can see the liquid is separated. There's a good amount of fat on the top that we need to remove so the pork isn't too greasy. Fortunately, I have just the thing. Using a turkey baster, you can just siphon off the fat from the top and then put it in a different container. I was able to remove over half a cup of liquid fat. That will definitely improve the mouthfeel of the pork. Now that most of the fat has been removed, I want to put the liquid on the stove and reduce it by about 50%. We aren't just thickening the liquids, we're concentrating the flavors. As you can see, about half the liquid evaporated. That means the flavor will be twice as concentrated. Now back to the pork. This is the fun part, and also where pulled pork gets its name. Time to add in the concentrated liquid. Remember all the techniques we used to get as much flavor as we could. We bloomed the spices, we siphoned the fat, and we reduced the liquid by 50%. If you've been enjoying this video, like and subscribe so you don't miss any future fixes. Also make sure you hit that notification bell. Let's give it a taste test. Oh, it's so tender. That pulled pork is just spectacular. Super tender, juicy, all the flavors are there. It's like a perfect balance with the spices. Here are some recipe suggestions for that delicious Mexican pulled pork. So here we have pulled pork tacos with sauteed peppers and onions and queso fresco. And here we have pulled pork, grilled peppers and onions, queso fresco, and cilantro. And here we have some epic nachos with pulled pork, jalapenos, onions, tomatoes, black olives. All delicious options. The perfect companions for this delicious tender pulled pork are my Noah's Ark salsa and guacamole recipe, and also fresh homemade tortillas. Both those recipes are right here. Thanks for watching.
I'm hungry. Let's get a taco.